My name is Hazel Anderson, and I'm about to turn 30. I live with my husband, Philip, who is 5 years older than me, and our 5-year-old son, R. We are a small family of 3, living a peaceful life, at least until today. Today, Philip and I are attending a wedding ceremony for one of his friends. Although I call them friends, they are actually more his friends than mine, acquaintances I know mostly by face. The ceremony is being held at a fancy, upscale hotel. The moment I stepped into the venue, I found myself captivated by its opulence. The crystal chandeliers sparkled, and the decorations made it look like a scene straight out of a fairy tale. While Philip exchanged greetings with familiar faces, I excused myself and went to the restroom. As I was walking back to the ceremony, I heard some voices nearby. At first, I thought they were just people chatting, but then I realized they were speaking in loud, disdainful tones, as if they wanted to be heard. "Oh, look at that defective item. Why is she even here?" a woman's voice said, dripping with malice. Another voice chimed in, "Yes, I didn't think they invited someone like her." It became clear to me that they were talking about someone, maybe even me. The comments weren't just idle gossip. They were filled with hostility, meant to sting. I decided to ignore them and keep moving. I had no interest in engaging with such people. However, as I walked away, I heard someone shout, "Hey, you ugly thing, I know you can hear me." I kept walking, trying to hold my composure. I refused to respond to that kind of provocation. My name is not you ugly thing, and I wasn't about to let them get a rise out of me. But as I walked down the corridor, I heard footsteps behind me. The hurried, echoing sounds made my heart race. Why were they following me? Before I could react, someone grabbed my arm tightly. The grip was so strong it hurt. "Wait a minute, I'm talking to you," a voice shouted from behind me. I turned around to see a woman, breathless from running after me. I shook her hand off, my face calm but my heart pounding. She stumbled back, letting out a dramatic cry as if I had attacked her. "Julia, are you okay?" Another woman rushed over, glaring at me as she helped the first woman regain her balance. "Why are you being so violent? Don't you recognize us?" the second woman demanded. I looked at them, confused. "Who might you be?" I asked, genuinely puzzled. The first woman, Julia, looked at me in disbelief. "Have you forgotten? I'm your sister, Julia, and this is our mother. How dare you pretend not to know us?" The words hit me like a brick. My sister? My mother? I hadn't seen them in nearly a decade. "Ah, yes. Maybe there was someone by that name around me in the past," I said dismissively, shaking my head. I had no desire to reconnect with them, not after everything that had happened. Their anger flared at my casual dismissal. "You're still as rude as ever," my mother spat out. Just then, 2 men hurried over, drawn by the commotion. One of them was my father, and the other was a man I hadn't met before. "What's going on here?" my father demanded, his face contorting with irritation. The man beside him, who seemed to be Julia's husband, looked at me, his expression shifting from confusion to shock. "Hazel, why are you here?" he stammered. He then turned to Julia. "What's going on, Julia? Why are you causing a scene?" Julia pointed at me dramatically. "She's an intruder. She wasn't invited. Kick her out," she shouted. My father nodded in agreement, his face darkening. "Yes, get her out of here. She doesn't belong." Before things could escalate further, a calm voice broke through the tension. "Hazel, there you are. I've been looking for you." Philip appeared beside me, his presence a comforting anchor. He looked around, assessing the situation in an instant. "Sorry, I was on my way back but got tangled up with some strange people," I said, giving him a small, rueful smile. Philip nodded, his eyes sharp as he took in the faces around us. "Ah, I see," he murmured, his gaze resting on Julia for a moment. She had been staring at Philip, clearly captivated by his sudden appearance, but when she realized I was standing next to him, her expression turned venomous. "Who is this man?" my father asked, his tone demanding. Philip extended his hand politely. "Nice to meet you, I'm Philip Anderson. Hazel is my wife." There was a stunned silence. The man standing next to my father, Daniel, as I would later learn, looked utterly taken aback. "Mr. Anderson, The son of the head of Anderson General Hospital? He muttered, his voice filled with disbelief. My mother and father exchanged bewildered glances. Anderson General Hospital? The famous one, my mother whispered, her voice barely audible. Julia, too, seemed shaken, her eyes wide with surprise. Yes, Philip said calmly. My parents run the hospital, and I am currently working there as well. He glanced at me with a gentle smile before turning back to my so-called family. Hazel is my beloved wife, and we have a son together. We're here as guests today, so I'd appreciate it if you could refrain from any further unpleasantness. Daniel seemed to snap out of his shock and bowed slightly. I'm very sorry, Mr. Anderson. It seems there's been a misunderstanding. He then turned to Julia. Julia, apologize to them. Why should I apologize? Julia snapped, her face twisted with anger. They should be the ones apologizing. She's the disgrace, not me. She pointed at me again, her voice filled with hatred. Philip frowned, his expression darkening. Disgrace? He repeated, his tone icy. I think you should be careful with your words. Exactly, Daniel interjected nervously. She's family now, isn't she? Let's not make this any worse. But Julia wasn't listening. She glared at me, her face contorted with rage. You don't belong here. You're nothing but a failure, just a high school graduate who never did anything with her life, she shouted. I took a deep breath, meeting her furious gaze. You know nothing about me, Julia, I said softly. You never did. Philip placed a protective arm around me, his expression unreadable. Hazel has worked hard her entire life. She's an intelligent, capable woman, and I'm proud to call her my wife, he said, his voice steady. I think it's time we leave. As we turned to go, my father suddenly stepped forward, his face red with anger. You think you can just walk away from us? After everything we did for you? He shouted. We raised you, provided for you, and this is how you repay us? I turned back, my heart pounding in my chest. Provided for me? I repeated, my voice trembling. You neglected me. You treated me like I was nothing, while you gave everything to Julia. You told me I was worthless, that I'd never amount to anything. And now you want something from me? My father opened his mouth to respond, but I cut him off. I owe you nothing. I've made my own way in life without your help. I'm happy now, and I won't let you ruin that. There was a moment of silence, and then my mother spoke, her voice trembling. Hazel, please, we're family. We should support each other. I shook my head, a bitter smile on my lips. Family? You've never treated me like family. You only care about yourselves. I'm done with all of you. With that, Philip and I turned and walked away, leaving them standing there, stunned and speechless. As we left the venue, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. It was as if a weight I'd been carrying for years had finally been lifted. Are you okay? Philip asked softly as we walked to the car. I nodded, giving him a small smile. I am now, I said. Let's go home. Later, I heard that Julia and Daniel had divorced not long after the wedding. It seemed that the lies and deceit that had been a part of her life for so long had finally caught up with her. My parents, too, found themselves struggling. The clinic they had once run was failing, and they were unable to find work due to their tarnished reputation. As for me, I had moved on. My life was no longer tied to theirs, and I was finally free to live it on my own terms, with my husband, my son, and the family I had chosen for myself. And that, I realized, was all I needed.